good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Barbecue Champs Academy Live. My name is Mike Steele, and we're looking for a great show tonight. And I hope everybody is excited about it as I am. And we are doing our question and answer discussions tonight. Certainly going to open this up for anybody that's got any kind of question, whether it's in the steak or the barbecue scene. We got Mr. Terry Roan that's going to be with us. I'm sure he can answer a lot of the steak stuff. He is an avid barbecue cook as well. And so between Terry and myself, we should be able to answer most of your barbecue questions. We want a lot of questions tonight. If there's anything that you want to know, we're going to try to answer it. And I got a little gnat decided it just wanted to come up here and start flying around me. But let us know. Think of some questions that you'd like to have asked, and we'll see if we can come up with some answers. We're not going to keep this too long tonight, as long as we got some good questions rolling through. I know there's a big baseball game on tonight, but we are at least glad that you took the time out of your busy schedule to join us here tonight. Got a few folks here. Gordon, thank you for being here. I tell you what, that was a pretty awesome picture of your wife that you posted yesterday. I'm sorry I had to pick a little bit of fun at you, but you better watch out, man. I think she's got the reins there, and she's running with it. So congratulations to her. She's been absolutely killing it, and I know you've got to be very, very excited to have your whole family out cooking. So Monty, we appreciate you being here. John, thank you for coming as always. I'm sure it's probably starting to get pretty deadgum cold up there in your neck of the woods. We got a little cold front coming in, supposed to hit tonight with a lot of rain. And here in Louisiana in the first week of November, I think this weekend it's supposed to be 36, 37 degrees Friday and Saturday night. So it's going to be pretty cold. So I'm really glad to have this cold weather. Let's see who else we got. We got Mr. Chuck with us. Appreciate you being here as always. I heard Miss Carly cooked an amazing grilled cheese. I was talking to Terry about it and got DQ'd because there was some plastic in the box for some decoration stuff, and that is so sad. I don't know what the rules are on that, so I'm certainly not going to get in and dive into it. But I heard it was an absolutely gorgeous sandwich, beautiful. And I'm sure she's going to snap right back from it and get out there and go cook and do very well. So anyway, but we appreciate y'all being here. Let's see who else. Got Jeremy. Thank you all the way from Searcy, Arkansas. Beautiful place up there. And let's see here. Good evening, Mike. Hope you and yours are doing well. Things are going good. We've kind of been chilling out a little bit. Don't have a lot of competitions going on. I am going to be heading over to World Food Championship this weekend over in Dallas, so I'm going to have a lot of behind the scenes stuff. We're going to have one of our cooks, well, we got several of our cooks. I know that Matt Overson's going to be there in the steak division. We're going to have Sterling Smith and Robert Smith both going to be cooking the barbecue. We'll be there with them. Also Montana Max, he's going to be there defending his title for World Food as well. So we're going to have a lot of behind the scene footage this coming weekend, doing some interviews. I'm probably going to start that either on Thursday afternoon, Friday, and Saturday for sure. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you've got your notifications turned on. And we're looking for a really, really great weekend over there with our guys and getting some behind-the-scenes stuff. Let's see who else. Big Aaron, thank you, buddy, for being here. Man, I'm telling you what, always great to have you along. And I saw that you've got a new beef marinade, if I recall, that has come out. Did I get that right? I know I saw the bottle, and congratulations on that, man. Everything that you got is just absolutely top-notch stuff, so congratulations on that as well. DQ'd Barbecue, Mr. Steve, thank you, buddy, for being here. Congratulations once again on your incredible outing. If you didn't catch us a couple of weeks ago, we had Steve on. He cooked his first Pro Series Master KCBS backyard. He went for the backyard division into the Pro Series and cooked his first KCBS Pro Division. Did a double header. Lee Hickle was up there at that competition, and he had 7 out of a possible 8 walks and in the 4 meets, and finished 3rd overall on day 2. He had a first place rib and a first place brisket, if I recall. So congratulations to him. He went back and watched Corey Mike's videos about 7 or 8 times, just kept watching that brisket video over and over and over, and I was very proud of him. He has done a very good job over the last 2 years. So certainly glad to have you here. Morgan, thank you for being here. Craig, once again, we appreciate you being here as well. Let's see what Mr. Steve, Barbecue Champs, is how it all started for me. I can't wait to hear from the legend, Mr. Terry Roan, tonight. Yep, we're going to have a good show with Terry. He's going to kind of bring on some stuff. We've got some things that he's hearing through the grapevine for the SEA for 2022, so it ought to be quite interesting. Jeff, appreciate you being here all the way from Michigan. Appreciate it. Let's see who else we got on here. Mr. Danny with Be Extreme, thank you for being here, and we do appreciate you here as well. Let's see, you're going to be in Fort Worth again this year in March. Yes, that is my game plan. I had an absolute blast being over there last year. Probably going to bring their film crew over there and get some behind the scene footage, interviews and stuff like that. We had a wonderful time. Y'all opened up the place for us, rolled out the red carpet, got to meet so many people for the first time, and it was absolutely awesome. So I am absolutely putting that on my schedule to come. Lord willing, I will be there. So who else we got? Manny, thank you for being here. Aloha. Matt Overson's with us tonight. Matt, I will see you here, brother, in a few days. And I'm coming over there on Thursday afternoon, so I'll try to catch up with you either Thursday night or definitely Friday for sure. Yep, Aaron said his new is called Bullseye Steak Marinade. So Aaron's got a brand new marinade that he just got through releasing. I know he's been working on it for a long time. And that's at Texas Oil Dust. Texas Oil Dust. Look them up. You can always find him on Facebook, Mr. Aaron Leslie. Andy, thank you for being here. Got Ron all the way from Delaware. Thank you. Chris, hey buddy, how are you doing? Hope everything's going well. Good to see you here also. Mr. Max was just talking about you. Yes, sir. I can't wait. I will see you definitely on Thursday. Looking forward for you defending your 3 titles that you have. If you don't know, Max Nielsen is our newest cook that we've brought out. He did an ancillary class for wings, desserts, burgers, and appetizers. Cooked some of the most amazing food that I've ever had before. He is one of them chefy chefs, as I call him. He's a Culinary Fight Club champion. He had 3 first place finishes last year at World Food Championship. And one of them was presentation, so he has just got some absolutely incredible food, and his presentation is second to none. I'm going to definitely have some behind the scenes stuff with Mr. Max. Good luck this weekend. Look at here, who else we got? The 2020 SCA World Champion. Did I get that right? Or is it 21? It's 20. Mr. Rissa Overson, glad to have you here, champ. Appreciate it. Alan, thank you for being here. Mr. Big Jim Hudgens, thank you for showing up, sir. We got Lane Holmes. I know you guys have been killing it. You and your wife has just been tearing it up. Congratulations on a great year that she is having. Keep it up. Y'all are doing great. Alfred, thank you for being here. Daniel, thank you for showing up. Jody Davis, appreciate you being here. Jack, man, I don't know if you're going to World Food. If you are, let me know. I'll try to look you up when I'm over there. Blake, thank you for showing up. Let's see who else. Brian, appreciate you being here, man. It's going to be a great show tonight. And look, we got 43 folks on here right now. This is going to be open up. We're going to do a little different format tonight. Been wanting to do one of these for the last 2 weeks. Just had so much going on. But we're going to do a question and answer. I'll take on some of the barbecue stuff. As you know, Terry Roan is a pretty avid barbecue cook himself. I'm going to let him handle a lot of the steak stuff. So if there's any kind of question that you have, hey, we certainly do want to try to answer them. Let's have some discussions. If somebody's got questions that we can't answer and you can chime in, hey, we'll certainly take a look at that as well. So, James, appreciate you being here, man. And let's see. Yeah, Marissa did say it was 2020. I knew that. I don't know what made me think it may have been 21. So, let's see. Michael Cook, all the way from New Zealand. Man, we are reaching across the pond. We've got folks on here from New Zealand, from Australia, all over the world. I tell you what, we are very, very thankful for our listeners. We appreciate y'all being here every week, week in and week out. We always try to put together a great show, and I hope we're going to have a good one tonight. So let's see. Jack, yes, great. Make sure you look me up if you see me running around and I don't see you, grab me. Let's see. Carly's at the football game tonight. She is ready to do some stuff this weekend at Barbecue Cook-Off. She's got this and has an amazing mentor. Y'all know who you are. Yeah, congratulations for her getting out for the first time. Caitlin, we appreciate you being here. Murr, thank you for showing up. And let's see what he got here, Albert Terry. It is a certified badass. I will agree with you. Well, without further ado, we're going to do one quick thing. We got to do a little housekeeping. I couldn't do this without these guys. They just mean so much to me. You don't understand it. I know we always promote them. We always talk about them. But we got a lot of listeners. We got a lot of people that watch our videos, and we at least want to give these guys a shout out. Our partners are very special to us. Danny at Big Extreme Barbecue, thank you for everything that you have done from the very, very get-go to be part of Barbecue Champs. B&B Charcoal, man, I don't know. I'm going in several stores, and every time I go in, I'm seeing those racks full. I know they finally have gotten ahead of the game, of the curve of being behind from COVID. So it's good to see the B&B product back out there. Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford, appreciate all the support that he gives us. He carries so many of the rubs that we have in our classes. I appreciate that. He's got some awesome product. His Crawford Barbecue Pit products is awesome. Papa Joe Grilling Supply in Hutto, Texas. Make sure you check them out. Another one of those suppliers that carries almost every single rub that we have in our classes. Without these guys, it wouldn't be possible. Gunnar Wilhelm, man, I tell you what, if you're ever looking for a wicked sharp knife, that is it. I started using those last year, and I'll tell you, it's one of the absolute best knives I've ever come across. So go check them out, Gunnar Wilhelm. SteakRubs.com, Mr. John Lindsay and Mr. Ronald Burns, Hotty Toddy himself. They got their company, new website opened up about a month and a half ago. Go check them out. Also, Dustin Stanley at the Barbecue Store. Go check Dustin out, man, in Hempstead. He does so much for barbecue. It's not even funny. He's always putting on barbecue competitions at his event. We really do appreciate him. We want to definitely give him a shout out because he does a lot for barbecue competitions and helping us get going. Man, I tell you what, people like that is what makes our life so great, to be able to get out and do what we do. Thank you so much, Dustin. Hey, you need to get an SEA competition there too, buddy. Last but not least, Raider Red Meats over in Lubbock, Texas. Man, they've got some great products over there. Fast turnaround shipping. They ship most of their products next day air. Be sure to check them out, Raider Red Meats. Well, I tell you what, it's time to bring our guest in tonight, Mr. Terry Roan. We do appreciate him taking the time out of his busy schedule, dropping in to see us. We're going to pop him in here real quick. Hello, Mr. Terry Roan. How are you doing, brother?
Good evening, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. I've had a great day. It was absolutely gorgeous today. 70 degrees was the high, and then we got some rain coming in. I think it's raining, you said, over there in Dallas, and it's heading this way. But you know what? Little rain's going to make things nice. We've been a little dry over here for the last few weeks, but all in all, it's been a good week. What about you?
Oh man, it's just busy yesterday and today with work, and yeah, the rain has moved in. I think the high today was about 57 here, and obviously with the rain coming in, it's getting cooler.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely nice. No doubt, it's definitely nice. I've been waiting on this, so. Anyway, well, you know, hey, we're going to open this up. If y'all have any questions, barbecue or SCA, that you'd like to know about, talk about, want some information on, no matter what it is, we'll try to answer it. And in the meantime, we'll talk to Terry a little bit about some of the upcoming changes that he's kind of hearing in the SCA. I know there's a couple things that he said that he's heard. I was like, hey, it's kind of fascinating. So, Terry, what are some of the things that you are hearing in the SCA that may be changes for next year? Not necessarily it's going to happen, but some of the things that you're hearing.
Well, what I'm hearing is that this could be coming this year, but no later than for the 2022 season. The SCA is changing the chart that they put in front of the judges for judging doneness. And if I heard the rumor correctly, they're going to take the score of 7 completely off the chart.
Wow.
So it'd be a 10 if you hit exact
Perfect.
medium. If it's medium rare or medium well, be a 9, and obviously well and rare would be 8. So
Wow.
I think that would be a pretty cool deal. And where that will help us is they have these judging classes. It's going to define more for brand new, what I call rookie judges.
Okay.
And
Judges
that will do nothing but benefit the cooks, because when you get a brand new judge, and I really believe in my heart that once an individual goes to the judging class, becomes a certified judge of the SCA, they have to get at least 10 comps under their belt. They need to uh, judge those events and be in there with veteran judges, and then kind of hear what they've got to say. And then you kind of uh, uh, kind of trying to build experience.
Right, right.
And the more experience the judges have, I believe in my heart, the more fair shake that the cooks are going to get.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to have some kind of baseline for them.
Yes.
And going in when you're a new cook, I mean a new judge, and you're having to score this, and you don't necessarily know where should I be scoring this. I think that if they do that, I think that's a pretty smart move on Ken and Brett's thinking to try to even out these judges to where everybody's got a fair shake, you know. And I think that's a pretty good deal. It'll help level that playing field because y'all have maybe multiple tables. And if you got some good seasoned judges on one, you got some rookie judges on another. The seasoned judges may score y'all really well, where the rookie judges that ain't got a lot of experience, they may score you a little bit low because they just don't know exactly what to do.
Right. Well, and one thing that SCA rep is supposed to do is, number one, they do not put a husband and wife on the same table. They separate them, and they're supposed to balance out the veteran judges with the new certified judges, so that you don't get one table stacked with all veteran
Rookies.
Judges and one table stacked with all brand new judges.
Right, right.
So trying to mix those up is really good. And if the SCA reps doing their job, and most of them do,
right,
they kind of take care of that in the judging area. So.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think separating, people, we've been kind of pushing for that in IBCA competition. We'll see a lot of times all the buddies coming in there, all the drinking buddies, they go pile over there on one table. And although they're not supposed to talk, we'll say, hey, what do you think? Their motions and the facial expressions. It's when you start doing that, especially when you're judging barbecue, it can have a bearing on somebody's score. So we've asked, hey, separate, don't have husband, wife, dad comes in there and mom's there and the two kids are with them and they're all on the same table. Man, there's some good barbecue, but yeah, it's good. Next thing you know, he's influencing everybody. So we're trying to ask them, hey, separate everybody. You come in, draw a number, that's your table. Draw a number, that's your table. I think I heard somebody say they are starting to do that. If anybody's cooked an IBCA or if we got an IBCA judge on here, let us know if that is something that is in the works or is happening, because I really think it helps. It was Alan Freeman that told me he was at a competition here not too long ago. He had one table he looked at. Everybody was 60 to 80 years old. Had another table over here. Everybody was 35 to 45 years old. The whole table. And, that's pretty tough. I mean, you need that mixed. If you got somebody that's just a lot of the older couples or, people that's on there are younger, they're definitely going to score completely different. So
I think that's where the SCA head judge has to do, the IBCA head judge has to do the same thing. The onus is on them, just like the SCA rep, to split those up. And that's what's going to be the most fair to the barbecue cooks.
Right.
And get the most fair shake.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right. So while you and I were going to continue to talk about it, but in the meantime, as we've asked people to give us questions, we'll break in, we'll answer the questions, we'll go back to what we're doing. Sound good to you?
Sure.
All right. So Lane's got a question for you. What is your opinion on overall impression? Because that is one that I've often wondered, and sometimes I've seen score sheets, I'm scratching my head going, great, 50, 50, 49, 50, overall impression 48. Like, where did that come from? I've never understood that. And what is overall impression to me? Is it all of them combined, or what's your opinion on that? And tell the people out there that may not know what impression is.
Well, here's the thing on overall impression. So you could have a steak come down the line, and it looks beautiful, and get a 50. They could nail the doneness, get a 50. And so I honestly believe that the doneness score and the uh, appearance score, you get that in one fatal swoop. And I believe that your texture score and your taste score you get in one fatal swoop. And I can tell you that texture score will impact that taste score. So if you get a 48 on overall impression, and way I have had it explained to me, and it really made a lot of sense, that overall impression is when you get a 10 from a judge, that judge is telling you that I want another bite of that steak.
Okay.
That's overall impression. So you could have someone that gets a 50 in appearance, 50 in doneness. They cut it. They're thinking, and I don't think that they give you the texture score until it hits their tongue and in their mouth. And also, we know this with IBC barbecue. You know, you want to basically overcook a lot of your meat. You want it tender. They have a plastic knife and fork. You don't want the judge to have to struggle to get that meat
Right.
off the bone if it's a rib or
Right.
chicken, brisket, etc. Well, it's the same thing in the SCA. They have a plastic knife and fork. So you want to be able to get a good cut without that steak kind of stretching out.
Right.
And but you can have another thing hurt you on your overall impression and your taste is they put it in their mouth and it has a charcoal taste to it, a lighter
Okay.
food taste. So it can look great, cook
I
and hit
got
the
you.
doneness,
Okay.
boom, they can go downhill from there.
Okay. I never thought about it. You know, an off-putting flavor or too smoky, too charcoal, too. I never thought about that. So
Maybe
that
they
is
leave the steak on a certain grate that's at a higher temp too long.
right.
That can put a charred
The
aftertaste
right.
in the meat.
Right. The grill mark itself be too dark and charred. I
Mm-hmm.
know Marissa talked about that in her class. That's one of the things that she's always looking for and watching out. You know, she made a little adjustment. She cooked her practice steak. We did it on camera. She came back. She looked at it and she said, "I cooked that steak like 5 or 10 seconds too long." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "The grill mark's just a little too dark." And she said, "I don't want it to be that dark." And then basically it was she didn't want a charred flavor on that grill mark. I'm telling you, that girl's got it going on. She's pretty sharp. So, and you know, it makes sense. And so I never even thought about that's other parts of the impression that it doesn't tell if it's smoky. It doesn't tell you if it's got a charcoal. That's pretty good. So what's your overall impression with it? Do you think that's something they need to continue to have? I mean, do you think that's something that should be adjusted? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll put it like this. I don't think it's going away.
Okay,
Brett and Ken like it. It's part of the scoring, and
leave it
so we're,
alone.
we're stuck with it. Now we got to figure out how to work with it.
There you go. All right.
That's and you know what Marissa is saying. Uh, this is something else that hurt. When they look at that and they're giving you your appearance score, judges know when you have a real deep charred black line. And sometimes that can hurt you because they've already got it in their mind that's going to have a charred taste before they ever get it in their mouth.
Right.
So Marissa's spot on. And I think most all of us in the barbecue champ steak classes, we discuss the optimum temperature
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
like to cook with.
Yeah.
And hopefully that
Absolutely.
helps prevent that. So
All
if
right.
you haven't taken a class, go take one. You'll sure learn that.
It'll definitely help. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna get back to your answer, Steve. I'm just gonna do a couple follow-ups with what Terry has said. So Jody Davis kind of said judges are instructed to open the box, judge appearance and doneness, close the box, then write those scores down. Open box back up, cut your piece and eat it. Close box back, write those two down and pass the box, and then mark your overall how it finished, all within 30 seconds. So
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the goal for the SCA is they want that steak from when it gets cut, put on the table. They want that steak judged in 3 minutes or less before the
Starts
the
cooling off.
presentation back part starts
Right.
oxidizing.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Alfred says every judge has a unique palate. How do we prepare for the world's food? Okay, so I'm going to come back to your question, Alfred. That's a question. I didn't catch it. I thought it may have been part of what we were talking about. So Big Jim Hudgens says also too much of something on the back end. So yeah, a lot of back end heat or too salty or something like that. Yes, that could also cause a bad presentation or an overall impression score. Great. That's some great stuff. You know, I never
Jim,
really looked at it like that. And Jim would know. He's a freaking unbelievable cook. So,
yeah, and he's also a one heck of a judge. So
judge. Yeah, absolutely.
he's been on both sides.
Yeah.
I think that puts us at an unfair disadvantage.
Yeah, probably so. All right, so here we go. Terry, at the end of the year, when you are pushing for points, do you ever tweak your flavor profile for that extra pop, or you just stay with the status quo process? Well, I know you're on the 2018 Go Back to the Basics tour. I know that. So
Um,
it's been
run,
working for you. What are you doing?
we're running the same seasoning at every comp.
Okay,
Period.
so you don't change it.
No, I did that in 2019, trying to change for different parts of the country, thinking they'd like this or that, and that was a disaster.
Isn't that kind of what you was doing earlier this year? You started changing a whole lot of stuff. You was chasing rabbits down the hole and doing everything. And I remember you calling me and saying, "I'm going back to the freaking basics. I've been watching my videos and I've gotten so far away from what I was doing." Is that what happened? You started chasing and doing extra things to get extra pop and pulled you too far to the left?
Well, to answer your question, yes, I really wasn't trying to go for different parts of the country. I was looking to make some changes to get that little extra pop that
Pop.
gets you over the hump,
Right.
so to speak, and help you. Because let's just face it, uh, that taste score is very crucial. That taste score can help you win a comp or lose a comp.
Hmm.
And it's the first thing as a tiebreaker if you have the exact same score.
Right.
So
Okay. There you
uh,
go.
I went back to the basics.
Yeah. You
What
went
I
back to it.
use in the class is what I'm using today.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question that you saw that said that, because now Daniel has this. Have y'all thought about doing updated barbecue and steak classes? Well, Daniel, I'll tell you right now, one of the things is, you heard Terry. Uh, he's doing the exact same thing that he did in his class. He got away from it. He was trying to do some extra stuff. You just heard his words. He was trying to get some extra pop, doing some things. It didn't work. John Lindsay has put out an update on what he is doing on his rubs now. And the great thing is, by being on our Facebook pages, if you buy that all access class, you get access to the private Facebook page. So I know as of right now, Terry's running everything the same. He did change to the Wicked Pig Marinade, and he's put the recipe and exactly how he does that in his private Facebook page. John Lindsay is doing exactly the same thing other than the rub combination, and he has laid out a perfect video of exactly how he's doing. He was actually at a competition and says, "This is what I'm doing." So he has updated his. Shauna has not updated anything with hers, although she does have her steak shakeout now. I have talked to Shauna about maybe just dropping in the studio. Let's do a little quick update and we can plug it right into her Facebook page. The great thing is, the reason we changed the steaks to all access is now when you buy the all access, you get added to the private Facebook page. You can see any changes that they've made. Marissa's class is so new. She's not changed anything. Will Collier says he hasn't changed anything, although he did start using his beef marinade, and he did put a video out of how he is using that, and he put that in his private Facebook page. So as far as the barbecue stuff, there has not been any change from the guys that I have talked to. Lee Hickle started doing KCBS this year. He ran his same recipe that he was doing on his ribs, on his brisket, on his pork butt. Little small changes other than sauce or something like that. He did do chicken thighs for KCBS. Well, he put out a video of showing how he goes about trimming a chicken thigh. And I'll tell you what, Lee Hickle will make you mad, Because I sit there and watch him trim a chicken thigh. He can do a chicken thigh from start to finish in 1:25. A minute and 25 seconds. He took it, pulled it, did everything to it, done in the pan. And he was at a competition that he told some guys that, and they said there ain't no way he had he said he had 8 or 10 people in his video. He trimmed out 10 of them. He said his average time was 1:15. So he does at least show you that. Corey Mikes has not changed anything on his. As a matter of fact, I asked Corey, he won the world championship in brisket at the American Royal. And I asked him, I said, so how far off was you from what you did at the American Royal compared to what was in your class? He said, I cooked exactly the same brisket that was in my class. He said, I removed one of the rubs because it would have been too much of a Texas brisket. And if you have bought Corey's class, you'll know there's one of his rubs that he uses got a lot of pepper in it. He said that was the only thing I took off. Everything else was exactly like the class. My ribs, my pork butt, all that stuff. And I also look at results too, guys. This is another thing. We know who buys our class. I can tell you this weekend, there was at least 2 people that had grand champions and reserve grand champions. And I can't tell you how many top 10 finishers that have taken classes within the last 6 months. Those guys are going out and taking Tim Lemon. He has made it publicly known. He talked about it. Tim Lemon, who is Leanne's husband, the president of IBCA, he has struggled in barbecue competitions for a very long time. He bought Corey Mike's class, and ever since he has bought Corey Mike's class, he has absolutely been crushing it. I mean, crushing it. Top 10, top 10, top 10. I think he's had a grand. I think he's had some reserves. And he's cooking exactly the stuff that was in Corey's class. Now, even the barbecue guys have the ability. I know David Bosca has made some little tweaks on his chicken. He has put that in the private Facebook page. So until something just gets so far out in left field that the recipes are no longer working, there's nothing to change. And the great thing is, if you do buy that all access, these guys are telling you, here's the little tweaks that we're making. These guys make little tweaks. They don't throw a recipe out. They take what they got and they tweak it just a little bit. That's the same thing that Terry's plays with. Just, I go back, I tried, it didn't work, I'm sticking with that. He's tried, it doesn't work. So if you want to know what these class, just because this class may be 1.5 years old, we're keeping you updated with what's working, and we're watching what the guys are doing that's taking. We sell a lot of classes every month, and these guys are going out and consistently winning. There's somebody on here that I was talking to just a second ago that's taking the classes. He can tell you the classes work. So, and I think he's even made it known before. So,
yeah, I want to congratulate Danny Smith on his first place call this weekend, and I want to congratulate Michael Underwood on his 2 calls that he got in Knoxville, Tennessee. Both of them were top 5 calls.
Yeah.
And they took my class. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that's in the state competitions that's another thing. I'm just looking at these people. They're constantly going out and getting top 10 calls week in and week out. That tells me the recipes are working. Now, here's another thing, Daniel, and I'm going to pick this up from John Lindsay. The recipe is just one small part of it. And Terry, I think you will agree with me too. It's the techniques. It's the process. I have heard every one of y'all say that. I've heard Robert Smith say that the other day. It's right. Just a recipe is just one thing. It's not the recipe that always wins. And I think that's why these guys have given you something that is so good. What you're going to pick up on and learn is the process, the techniques, the strategies of what you're doing, what they're doing, why they're doing it. That is what's going to get you over the top, right? You agree?
Yes. I have people come up to me all the time wanting to know what I use, what I do here. And basically what they're wanting one rub. They're wanting the one-hit wonder.
That don't work.
I can tell you we've got some great products at Big Extreme. But I will tell you this, that they work with each other. And if you want to know what those products are, take my class. But there's not a one-hit wonder rub.
You're
that I
100%
know
right.
of. So,
John uses 4 or 5 different rubs. Marissa does. You do. Matt does. And John talks about layerology, layer flavors. There's a reason that they do that stuff, and it does definitely make a difference in the steaks.
you
So,
bet. You bet.
no doubt. So no, we haven't thought of. I mean, the updates are little small little things, and if you've bought our all access class, they're there. Um, but for the most part, it's just been little bitty little tweaks. Like David took off one rub in his chicken class. That was it. He said, let's cut back. He put it on pretty heavy. He said, I'm just taking that rub. I'm cutting it back. Everything else has been pretty much well the same. So,
Yeah.
all right. Michael Cook has a question. Do you think a seared steak has a chance on winning at the Worlds?
Well, Michael, I would never rule out anything.
That's a good question.
I'd never say never.
Yeah.
If it is a awesome, over the top, seared steak, sure, it could win the world championship. I know Will Collier,
He's one of the best.
Gene Skillen, those guys, they love to do seared steaks, and I'm not going to say they've always been successful with it, but they've worked at it to become fairly successful with seared steaks. So, yeah, I don't see why it could not win the world championship.
Will tried really, really hard to make a go of that, and he cooked a seared steak in our class. He did a grilled and a seared.
Right.
Best seared steak I've ever had in my life. The color of that steak was phenomenal. And there's a certain process. Once again, it's the process. It's not the recipe. There's a cooking technique and a process, and one thing that he did in that class that gave that steak the most amazing color that I've ever seen. It was beautiful. And he's tried it, and he's done pretty good, but it's just never been the consistency of his grill. He said, I'm going to make a run, and he tried it, and he said, I got to give up. It's a beautiful steak, but they're still knocking me on appearance because it doesn't have grilled marks. And that's a shame. You know, it should. The judges need to get out of their mind the grill mark. To me, that steak was beautiful. So,
well, and there's a technique to getting that good, even crust on a seared steak. And
absolutely,
man, let me tell you, there's nothing in this world that tastes better than that. You go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, you're not going to get a steak with grill marks. Yeah, you're going to get a seared steak that is
delicious,
pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good.
They really are.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Blake, are you combining seasonings day in advance, or are you layering at the comp? I already know the answer to that. Layer. Everything is layer, man. It is, you've got to layer it. And Alan wants to know, right behind him, do you change the order of the way you lay your rubs on, or the same at every comp? If I know Mr. Iceman, it's going to be the same every time.
Same.
Yeah, keep it the same.
You can't. You cannot be consistent
if you start
doing it different.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to be consistent. This rub goes on first. This one goes on second.
Right.
This one goes on third, and the third rub may not be as heavy as rubs 1 and 2. They may not. Or 1 and 2 could be lighter, and the third one is heavier.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Now I've got a bunch of different rubs that I'll lay on my brisket. I've got my own process. A lot of people ask, and I get questions like, "Whose class? Whose class do you?" I was like, "Man, I was winning a lot of grand champions and a lot of walks before I ever started BBQ Champs Academy and started getting all these guys stuff. And I never started it so I could get all their recipes to use it against the people that are buying the classes. Have I cooked class? Yes, I have cooked Lee's chicken class. I have cooked Corey Mike's rib class. I've cooked Lee's chicken last year 2 or 3 times. And I cooked Corey's rib 2 or 3 times. I've never done anybody else's brisket. I've only done my brisket, and that way I don't cook pork in IBCA. So, but my brisket is one that it's once again it's layer, it's layer, it's layer, it's layer, and I've got about 7 rubs that I put on my brisket by the time it's said and done. And I do not change it for any reason. My brisket has just been absolutely phenomenal, and I won't change it for anything. If I make changes, now here's, and once again, Daniel, this is back, the brisket that I ended up doing a new rub back in 2018, and at the end of 2018, the last 5 cook-offs, I had a first place brisket, a first place brisket, a first place brisket, a second place brisket, and a first place brisket. The last 5 competitions of the year, I had a grand, a grand, a grand, a reserve, and a grand during that process. That brisket was a new rub. It really is not. It's not just a rub. It's salt, it's pepper, it's garlic, it's 3 other different rubs, and that was 2018. It rolled off into 2019. It still had the same. I went to 2019. Go into New Year. I had a third place, a third place, a third place. I had a first place. I mean, it just. I had so many third place. It was crazy. And then, almost at the end of that year, it started to drop off. All of a sudden, I went from in the top 5 that I was at the bottom of 10 and just outside the top 10 at like 2 out of 5 competitions. And I was like, okay, something has changed. So all I did is I used the same flavor profile, and I was like, maybe they don't like this on my brisket. So I used the same rubs, I backed off on them. It's the only change I made. I backed off 40% of my rubs. I go to my very next competition, had never cooked. It was in Denton, Texas, had never cooked there. 62 teams, second place brisket. And that recipe I rolled right on over into 2020. Same type deal. It did pretty good all through that year. It did pretty decent into the first part of this year, and then all of a sudden, it started falling back off. And I went back to what I was originally doing, and I came right back up to the top. I had a first place brisket at my last competition, and with the new scoring system with IBCA, things are kind of a little messed up. I finished 13th on it, but when I went into the final 15 going head to head, I was number 1 on the table. It's just I went in 13th place. I finished number 1 on the top 15 that advance. You just don't move up. So,
Right.
but that's what I'm saying. Yes, layering stuff. I think it's
Right.
really, really important. So I kind of wanted the barbecue people out there hearing that. Stick with what works. And if you see these guys in these classes layering it that way, do it that way, because it does make a big difference. So,
But
um,
one other change that I hear, and I'm hearing, it's a rumor, but I think it's a lot of validity to it. And for the 2022 cooking season, a cook will only be able to enter an ancillary competition one time.
okay, so that's another
Yes.
thing that you're
So,
hearing for next year.
there are ladies like Be Extreme, our own Be Extreme, Lori Davis, uh, Tanya Pendray, that if there's 2 ancillary competitions, they might turn in 2 to 3 per ancillary.
For an
I
ancillary,
mean,
right,
they are working like
right,
heck.
right.
And I hope they really up the entry fee from, $20, 25 to maybe 40 or 50, and have better payouts for
Right, where more
these
people will get in it.
individuals that cook ancillaries, because I can tell you, it is a lot of work. I want to congratulate Lori for first place in Knoxville, Tennessee this weekend with her bratwurst pizza.
Okay,
And
cool.
she did great, and she also took a 5th with her bratwurst meatloaf. So
Wow, that's pretty
I,
cool.
and I'm telling you, these
They're good. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
they're thinking out of the box
yeah,
on the ancillaries. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be 2 ancillary competition at an event,
right.
but
But
you'll only do.
you can only turn in 1. You can't cook 2 or 3.
That's
Okay,
correct.
I think that's good. I never really thought that was real fair for a cook to be able to turn in 3 Okay, we're going to have a wing category. You turn in 3 different wings. It's the same cook. I never did think that was real good. So,
Well,
ah,
another thing that's going on at Barbecue Champs, you got Max in
mhm,
his classes, and most every one of the steak grillers and the grill masters has an ancillary that they do
right.
that any of those are great recipes to use to turn in for ancillary competitions,
Absolutely, 100%.
especially Max. I know his stuff's over the top.
It's unbelievable. His presentation and his flavor profiles are out of bounds. Stupid, crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unbelievable. All right, Gordon says there's still a learning curve, but Barbecue Champs Academy classes shorten it big time. Yeah, thank you, Gordon. I know I've seen what it has done for you, and I know what it's done for your wife. She is absolutely killing it now. So congratulations to you, and I appreciate it. If you want to know, this man went out his very first ever SCA competition. He took a class. I can't remember whose class it was. It was either John or Terry's, I think. And he cooked his first SCA competition. I think there was like 18 of the top 20 points people was there. This was last year, if I recall. 62 teams, I think. And I think he finished 7th place at his very first competition he ever went to. That's the power of our classes on Barbecue Champs Academy. They are the real deal. We have produced hundreds and hundreds of cooks that are consistently getting top 10 calls in barbecue and steak competitions.
Yeah,
It's mind blowing.
congratulations. I want to congratulate Alfred Hanna. He took my class, and he told me, saw it on the Facebook page, and he told me in Liberty, Texas, back to the basics, and he hit a second in one of the rounds down in Liberty. So I'm
Yeah.
really happy for Alfred. Alfred, and congratulations, Alfred.
Yeah, I tell you, Sterling Smith's rib recipe is a good one for the backyard. Yeah, I'll tell you what, those Sterling's classes, man, I tell you what, he is just down to earth. He lets the meat speak for itself. He doesn't take it out of some wild. He's real balanced barbecue, so no matter where he goes, it usually does very well. John says Terry's class was very helpful last winter in getting me ready for this season. Josh, man, that's awesome. Let's see, Gordon, there's still a learning curve. That's the one we just talked about. Chuck, it's a learning process. It really, really is. So,
By the way,
um,
Chuck, I want to congratulate Carly on that awesome looking grilled cheese.
yeah,
I'm sorry it
we,
didn't get in the judge's mouth,
that's
but man, she
ridiculous.
did a fantastic job. I thought it was over the top.
Right. Let's see. Okay, Daniel. Yes, Barbecue Champs has helped me tremendous. I had to make it my own. I'm doing what works for me now. I'm not chasing anymore. That's exactly right, man. And that's what these guys have done. I've got a lot of guys that's taken 3 or 4 barbecue classes, and they get the little best of everybody's in techniques and stuff, and they start making it their own. I mean, Ricky Bocanegra. I mean, here's a guy that came out on freaking fire after he took last winter. Last winter, he watched Corey's and Lee's videos all winter long. He comes out in February and slays it. Grand champion, grand champion, grand champion, RGC. I think he had a 6, another grand champion, another grand champion. And he took those 2 classes, combined them, got everything working, and kind of started making little tweaks along the way of trying to make it his own, where he didn't have exactly the same recipes that they were doing. And that's the great thing. I know the steak cookers, it seems like the steak cookers that are out there, they have taken, I've got so many people that have bought every single steak class that we've got. There is literally, I would bet you there's got to be close to 100 people that have taken every steak class that we've got. And they're learning little techniques from every one of y'all. So that's what it takes. You're learning. I don't know if it was who's told me that. I think it was Robert told me. You always have to be learning in this process. You'll hear
Yep.
Fred Robles talk about it. If you're not learning, you're going backwards. You've always got to be learning.
Well,
So
you and I talked about that, Mike, at the American Royal.
yeah,
Is everybody needs to be looking for the techniques that each cook has, and
hmm
take them and make them your own.
yeah. I mean, here you go. Nathan just got through saying I didn't cook I didn't get to cook much this year, but when I did, I usually finished in the top 10. I took more than one BBQ Champs class, and I learned something from all of them. I mean, there you go. If you want to know, these are real people that are out there that are telling you, hey, I took them, and here's what I've done. So,
Great testimonials.
Merv said, I've been in 4 comp. Flavor has been really close. It's always something else. I've got a rib rub I've developed. It's pretty tough. Yep, that's good. Let's see. Katie Weaver, the techniques I learned through the classes have helped me tremendously. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Let's see who else we got. Craig Scroggins, let's see. I took Terry and Matt's class and was able to string together 8 walks in a row. Wow. Congratulations, Craig. That's hard to do, man. And here, Terry says that steak competition is a lot tougher than barbecue. There is so many great steak cookers out there. There's so many people that have bought Barbecue Champ Academy's class. I think we have definitely changed SCA competition. I know I've heard countless people that have told me that. I've heard Matt tell me, he's told people, like, if you're not taking any of these classes, you're behind the curveball. And, it's been overwhelming for me. I really wanted to see this grow the sport of barbecue. I wanted to see us help grow the sport of steak competitions. I've been overwhelmed with the support, the stories, the people that contact me, the people that thank me. I tell them, look, it's not about me. You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's about the cooks, and it's about getting them in there, and it's about getting people like Gordon. And now he's got his whole family in there. His wife's cooking with him now. His daughter's starting to cook. To me, that's what it's about. And when you can get your whole family in there and you're having fun, not only with your barbecue family, but your family being there, to me, that is more rewarding than anything. So, anyway, let's see. Mike, you skipped my question, brother. Uh-oh. Oh, gosh, where's it at? Let me go see if I can
Also,
find it.
while you're looking for that, Mike, I want to congratulate Jody Davis on his first place call in Knoxville. Good job,
yeah.
Jody.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So here was this question. How do we prepare for the worlds for taste since the judges are from different states? I'll answer it. Do what got you there? What do you think? Am I right or am I wrong?
Hey, Alfred, after you hit that second place steak, I wouldn't change a thing.
There you go.
I don't care if you go to Australia to cook. Don't change.
Just do what got you there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how you build consistency.
Yeah.
And I really think it's how you build confidence.
Yeah.
What Matt's saying right there is totally
100%.
true.
If you put layers on backwards, it will taste totally different. There you go, from a guy that's probably cooked 1,000 steaks.
Yep.
Just this year. He is always cooking. So, let's see, Candace, what have we got here? It truly matters the order in which you layer the product. There we go. There's another one. So, let's see, Mike, what temp do you cook your brisket to? James, my brisket's usually finishing somewhere around 210. Sometimes it'll go 211. So that's typically where my brisket is finishing out at. 210, 211.
There's another great husband-wife team is James and Erica Dodson.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
They work together. They're spot on with their processes, and man, they're cooking on the cans and they're getting it done.
They're tough. They're absolutely tough, no question. And Erica, I fear her. James, I like you and all that, but I fear her. Erica, she'll tell you to hold her beer, and you get out of the way, and she's coming in. There's no doubt. And there was something, I don't know what happened. James did something, and maybe James will tell us. He probably's like, I'm getting off now. I got to go watch the Astros. But he did something, and she was trying to get her brisket on. I forgot what it was. This is about a month and a half ago. Man, she was so mad at me. She was like, I don't remember what happened. I done forgot. It's been too long. I'm getting old. So, but it was hilarious. With that girl, both of them are just cooking machines. But I always have to give James a hard time because of Erica. So, I love you, brother. Let's see. Aaron Leslie, go back 3 years and you're golden. Yep, that's for sure. So, Let's see. Single ancillary is a great idea. Yep, I think it is too. Let's see. I don't think you can call it a rumor. It's definitely a discussion in regards to ancillaries. Well, there you go. So that's a couple different people. We're just going to leave it as a rumor for right now. We don't want to stir up anything. So
Candace, I have a question for you. And I think I can't remember if it was on this podcast or if it was on John Ronald's on our Arcasipi podcast, but I think that overall impression score is when that judge says, "Oh, I want another bite of that steak." Would you agree with that?
let's see what
Lori
she said.
rocks her ancillary. She sure does.
Yeah.
Now there's a lady that goes after it, and
Yeah.
hey, I want to also congratulate Lane and Jenny.
Oh, yeah,
They have
Jenny.
been cooking both steak and barbecue this year. Ben and his wife Annie, and they've jumped in as a team and done very well in the CBA and IBCA and Lone Star competitions doing barbecue. So
Yep.
they're mixing them up between barbecue and steak.
Okay, she says also, and everything has to be prepared on site. Okay, so that's a little different. Can you pre-make anything, like some of the stuff, like sauces that may go on it, or does that even have to be made on site? Is it just, Jody, if you know that, have you heard, so like if you wanted to like chop up your vegetables or something and have everything kind of pre-chopped, and like sauces or something that pre-made. And then when we did our ancillary class, that was one of the things that we did. We said you can make up this. You can assemble it and put it all together and cook it when you get there. Are we still good with that, Jody? Let me know. So
I wish they would really cut back on dessert ancillaries, or people turn in ancillaries for dessert. I mean, you could have a cheesecake taco. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a dessert. That's not an ancillary taco turn in.
Yep, absolutely. Y'all do good cooking the World Food Championship. Yep. Let's see. What's the best thing to spritz on a steak? What's the best thing, real quick? We're starting to run out of time, Terry. What's the best thing to spritz on a steak?
Well, I would be talking to Mark Lambert and Joe Wilson. To guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, probably so. Oh, let's see. How long do you recommend leaving rubs sit on the steak before you put it on the grill, and should it be room temperature? Just give an approximate on that, because that's a pretty wide range there.
Yes, as long as I can,
Okay.
as long as it can sit on there, and yes, on the back half of that question.
Okay, the temperature. Let's see. Should it be room temperature? Yeah, you want it to come up. You just at least room temperature, because that's a very technical question. We certainly don't want to go in, because there's a lot of people that are got a lot of different places. And you start going into that, it can really throw off your whole steak cooking thing if you don't have a plan going in. So room temperature is a good place to start. Alfred, thank you, Terry. I would not be where I am today if it weren't for your class and Matt's. I am blessed to have y'all's support. That's awesome. Thank you, Alfred.
Well, I want to say this, Aaron Leslie, no offense on your marinade, but let me tell you, you can't go wrong using Wicked Pig.
Yes,
it has been awesome, and we have figured it out, and it does us right.
Yeah, it is a very, it's proven. It's got a track record.
Yeah.
That's for dang sure. It has got a track record. So every little technique helps in your process. Though, hey buddy, how you doing? Madwood Barbecue. Let's see. Matt Overson, thanks. Okay. Let's see. I've got another one. Hold on. Got a lot of them that came in here at one time. I took Terry's class and took 7 first place in a row. Yeah, I guess he did do that here not too long ago. When that last year you kind of put him under your wing and he got out there and killed it. So
yeah.
Oh goodness.
Same thing for Craig Scoggins.
Yeah, Craig did the same. Terry, I never met you, and I look forward to that day in Fort Worth. You have a calming presence that I truly admire. You helped me a bunch this evening. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate it. Let's see. the barbecue classes cut years off the learning curve. Eric and I will probably be signing up for some. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Oh, y'all are truly amazing
Oh,
cooks.
wow.
So
Take more
yeah,
classes.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
James.
You also have to know your elevation, know your finishing tip for brisket. Yep, that also has a lot to do with it. So I cook around sea level because I don't go anywhere other than around here. So James, my question is cooking around here. That's for sure. Yeah, you
Yeah,
get
by the
hired.
way, Aaron Leslie's one hell of a cook, too.
Oh my God, Aaron will frickin' he'll kick your butt and shake your hand and say, "How did that feel?"
Yeah.
He is awesome. I love Aaron. He's great. I hear the SCA brings in their own lights for worlds that might be brighter than what they may normally cook in. How does that affect doneness and scores? Wow, we're at the 8 o'clock mark. Usually we're getting off by now, but man, that is a great question. So,
Well, I would like to be able to provide you an answer, but I haven't been able to figure it out since they started using them, and I hate them because it's artificial lighting.
yeah, it's not a natural
I
light.
hate them. It's not the true deal. I have asked uh, Brett and Ken to move the judging to the Will Rogers Coliseum foyer area where it's all fluorescent lighting, which is what we're used to cooking and being judged under all year long, and then get thrown this wrinkle at the last minute at the World Championship.
Yeah,
So
I don't
they're
think that.
considering it.
Yeah, that's not real cool. I mean, it does change the temperature of the steak. It definitely does. So, oh man, oh man. Well, I tell you what, we've had a pretty packed house here all night long, and I think we had one of our greatest shows we've had in a long time. I hope everybody's got a lot of comments. We really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate everybody's question. Do y'all like this question and answer where we bring on one of our cooks and do this? Is this something y'all like? If you do, we may do this a little bit more often. So give us a thumbs up, yes, or a thumbs down, no. So, or a yes or no works. So let us know. We got 44 people on here real quick. We're getting ready to close it down. Hey, I appreciate y'all taking the time out. I know there's a big baseball game on right now, so we appreciate you being here. Maybe you're watching that and listening to us. So it's not like you have to hear the commentating on baseball because usually it's pretty deadgum boring. So yeah, you can probably watch the game and listen to us. We'll try to keep you entertained. Man, look at all the yes, great job, yes, great format, yes sir. I think a lot of people like the question and answer. We may try to do more of that type of stuff. Let's see. Aaron, awesome job. Love the show. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it, man. Hey, Aaron, real quick, are you going to be at World Food? Let me know. Craig, yep, absolutely. Yes, sir. Yep, great. Yes, they love it. Let's see. Matt Overson, great show. Guys, got things to pack. Yep, get ready, buddy. I'll see you in a few days. So,
Good luck, Matt.
Yep. I think it was a great show. Yes, I like the questions. So we'll kind of open up. I think we may try to do a few more of these, mix them up, but try to definitely put more of these in. Man, it is overwhelming with that. Yep, I hate that I missed the show. Just tuning in. Man, go back and watch it. It's been a good one. So, heck yeah, the format is awesome. Great show. It seems like a lot of people are liking this. So yeah, baseball is overrated. I definitely think you're right, man. We're getting a lot of folks saying that they like this. We appreciate so many people here. Thumbs up. You cooking the world food. I am not cooking world food, Richard. I'm just going to go there to support my barbecue brethren. It's my friends, and also our Barbecue Champ Academy cookers. We got Robert and Sterling, I know in barbecue, that will be there. I know Matt Overson will be there. I know Montana Max defending his 3 category first places at World Food. He's going to be there. So I'm going to just kind of go in there and do some behind the scenes. Make sure that you got your Facebook notifications turned on for Barbecue Champs Academy. We're trying to get really live with this. We're going to try to do a lot of live break-ins, so it's just going to be live feeds. You know me, I love to just jump in front of the camera and roll with it. I have no problem talking, so it's going to be a lot of fun doing this. We're going to probably do maybe Thursday night, definitely Friday and Saturday for sure. Going to have a lot of behind the scenes stuff, like behind the scenes with the cooks and stuff, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, I want really quick for all of those that are still here, thank you so much for all the shout outs that you give us here at Barbecue Champs Academy. I don't ever let it be made known that somebody took a class until they make it public, and then once it's public, usually they're like, yeah, go ahead and tell people. It helps. There's so many people out there in the steak community that did this last year and this year. It has been really awesome. Barbecue people are really starting to come around now and giving us shout outs more and more every day. And we're trying to grow this, and we're going to grow it by helping the newcomers coming in. And they have a platform that they can go in. You can watch the classes over and over and over. You don't miss anything. If you have a question, you can go to the private Facebook page and ask the questions. And to me, that's one of the greatest attributes that we have with Barbecue Champs Academy. I'm humbled to be able to do this for everybody. It was a lot of work. It's a lot of money. It's stinking way too much money to do. But, it never was about the money. It was about making barbecue competitions grow and the state competitions grow. And we have succeeded in that in our 2 years and 5 months that we've been around. And it's just been so humbling to be able to meet so many people at competitions and talk to people and the success stories that you've had. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Terry, thank you, man. Any final words?
Yes, I want to call out 4 individuals real quick and congratulate them on their walks this weekend. Jerry and Amy Buckin, their calls in Knoxville, and Lane and Jenny Holmes on their calls in Liberty, Texas. Great job, guys. Thank y'all. And Mike, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Terry. I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody's enjoyed our show. Man, we've got a lot of thumbs up. We're going to keep trying to find different formats that work for everybody. Hey, we're coming in that time of year. Daylight savings time falls back. It's going to get darker earlier. We're all stuck in now. Weather's going to get cold, so let's cozy up to the fire, get your favorite drink, and join us here on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And be looking for our live feeds coming this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, especially Friday and Saturday, at the World Food Championship in Dallas, Texas. As we always say, go out there, boys and girls, have a lot